Hi, I'm back. I wanted to do a women's bracket reveal of me. I didn't have time to do this last night, so games have already started today, but this bracket is the one I tried on, number one. I made another number two that's doing way better, but since this is my number one, just like my men's bracket, I wanted to show this one. Okay, so I watch women's basketball sometimes because I'm an Iowa fan, so of course Caitlin Clark, she's gone, but I still have some interest in watching it, so I know some stuff about it. Picked UCLA over Southern. I mean, that's kind of obvious, but this Georgia Tech started 15-0, it's had some struggles, and Richmond just didn't seem that impressive to me. I've not heard of them much, but what? So that's definitely not going right. Even though I live in Indiana, Ball State is an Indiana team, I picked Ole Miss because it just seemed better, and obviously that worked out. I picked Baylor, I picked Florida State, LSU, Michigan State. I don't like Michigan State, but yeah, I picked them. I'll get to my upsets in the next column. NC State, 2 seed over 15. I picked USC, California. I mean, I kind of like picking 9 seeds over 8 seeds just because it seems like technically an upset kind of, but it's more obvious, like less that it's possible that could happen. So, but I picked California because I've seen some of their wins, they're good, and their just record is so much better than Mississippi State, and it's not like California's played that weak of teams. Kansas State versus Fairfield, huge blow. This was so close. I was not expecting that, but got the win, so that's what matters. Iowa, of course, I picked Iowa over Murray State. Shouldn't be that difficult. I'm just hoping we don't choke. Oklahoma, I picked South Dakota State because I saw their record, it was pretty good. Obviously, they're in a weaker conference, but the most of their wins, they have a couple of really good wins against impressive teams like Creighton and Oklahoma State. I haven't seen a ton of, so I just wanted to pick it because, of course, it isn't going to be perfect. That seemed like a decent upset to pick, and not just 8 and 9, 7 and 10. That's a little bit more of an upset. UConn, yeah. Going to this side of the bracket, South Carolina, obviously. I mean, and that was, as expected, a huge blowout. I picked IU. I'm in Indiana. I don't like IU. I'm a Purdue fan, but Indiana is pretty good. Utah hasn't been doing that good, just looking at some of their schedule and records. So apparently I picked right. Alabama, Maryland, West Virginia, North Carolina. I did pick Oregon over Vanderbilt because Oregon seemed decent. But Vanderbilt has had a good season, but obviously that didn't work out. And I picked Duke over Lehigh, and that seems to be working out so far. Okay, these second round games haven't started yet, so I'm good on this. UCLA over Georgia Tech, so as long as obviously it's looking like Georgia Tech is going to lose, so at least I won't mess up, and I'm not saying UCLA. I didn't say UCLA would lose to Georgia Tech, so that's good news. I'll cover it up pretty soon. I have these matchups correct, so now it's just Ole Miss and Baylor. I picked Baylor. Florida State. Well, this is an upset, and LSU is pretty good, but they've had their struggles, so, and injury problems, so I'm just like, okay, Florida State has a really good player too, so I'm just like, wanted to include an upset. This might be a bracket buster, but I have to take some kind of chance. NC State beating Michigan, that's not going to be a huge surprise if that happens. That's expected. USC beating Cal, yeah. I picked Kansas State over Kentucky, so I'm glad. Kentucky didn't look good today, and Kansas State looked really good today, obviously, so that looks like a good pick. Oklahoma is really good, but I picked Iowa. assuming we win next game. Iowa, because I'm an Iowa fan. I didn't go too crazy, and of course Connecticut's gonna be Iowa, but I just wanted an upset again here. And then UConn is gonna beat South Dakota State. South Carolina over IU. South Carolina looked amazing. Definitely going to be IU. Alabama over Maryland. Maryland is okay, and they're a higher seed, but I just think Alabama looks better. I needed an upset. West Virginia and North Carolina, and West Virginia is pretty good. They almost beat Iowa last year in the second round when Iowa was the #1 seed and, like, good. So, like, really good. So, Duke's really good, so. Texas over Creighton, #1 seed, beating 9 is not a surprise. Tennessee over Ohio State. Ohio State is also good, but I just think Tennessee has more momentum. They've been more impressive to me when I watched Iowa go against these teams. Tennessee looked more impressive, and I feel like the Big Ten has had its struggles, and Tennessee would beat them for me. I had Iowa State winning last one, so having Notre Dame win makes me feel better because, like, if Notre Dame wins, then at least it's not messing up. That Iowa State loss isn't messing up anymore in my bracket. TCU over, TCU is really good this year and definitely going to beat Louisville, I think. Wait. Oh, yeah. Okay. Definitely going to be. I thought I messed something up. Never mind. Am I on the right? Okay. Just gets a little bit confusing, this part of the bracket. UCLA over Baylor. #1 seed UCLA is really good. So. NC State over Florida State. I mean, 6th seed, I just can't see going much farther. I didn't want to bust my bracket because of that. USC is good. Of course, Juju Watkins, I think, is going to beat Kansas State, even though Kansas State is pretty good, especially when they got their best player back from injury. Yeah, UConn is going to be Iowa. I'm sorry. I like Iowa. I'm a huge Iowa fan, but I just can't see us beating UConn. South Carolina has had their struggles this year compared to usual, but they looked dominant today, and they're a little bit scary when they're really getting going still. Duke has amazing defense, so they're definitely. So does West Virginia, but West Virginia has looked even better, I think. Texas over Tennessee. This is when I could consider playing Tennessee, but Texas is the #1 seed, and they've been dominant as well, consistently pretty much this whole season. Notre Dame. TCU beat Notre Dame earlier this year, and Notre Dame has been playing really good so far in this tournament, like today's game, so I just think they're going to come back for revenge and beat TCU. UCLA over NC State. NC State is good, but just not as dominant, I feel like, and against good teams can struggle, so. UConn over USC. Another rematch, and I just feel like this isn't USC's year. A lot of Juju Watkins will be coming back. A lot of players will be coming back, and UConn is hungry for a win. They haven't won in years after being such a powerhouse. Plus, Paige Becker this is her last year. I know she wants it, so that's why I think UConn. Notre Dame over Texas. Another revenge game for Notre Dame, I think, after losing to Texas earlier. And, South Carolina gonna beat Duke, I think. So here, Final Four, Notre Dame is gonna beat South Carolina. I don't know, that was before I saw their game today, so I'm a little bit hesitant on and a little bit upset that I picked that, but we'll see, hopefully. Indiana team again. And then UConn beating UCLA just because UConn, I know, really wants it. And once it gets to this point, I just think UConn is going to win. I mean, so that's my champion, UConn, because they have a lot of people that want to win it. It's been a while. I know everyone's ready to get a big win, so that's my pick. I hope you enjoyed this bracket. It was a little bit of a longer vid. I think I talked a little bit slower, but I hope if you watched all of this, you enjoyed it, and tell me who you picked to win the women's tournament. Thanks for watching.